dictionary defines the word idealist as someone who is unrealistically aiming for perfection. There's another way to look at the word idealist, which is to build on the word ideal. And when you do that, then the dictionary definition for the word idealist is someone who actively pursues a principle or value as a goal, usually in the context of ethics. And it is with that interpretation, the ethical interpretation of somebody as an idealist, that I will talk about idealism today. But why am I wanting to talk about idealism? For many years now, often I have heard people say that I am an idealist, that I have sacrificed a lot, that I have done something special. And every time I have heard somebody call me an idealist, I shrink from it. Partly because I feel that it puts me into a category of somebody different, that I am not normal. It is not, and when they put me into this category of normal, it also means that they cannot do the things that I am doing. But it is also that I have often been also in the category of being normal. And let me tell you about both of these. Way back in the 1970s, growing up in Delhi, sugar was in short supply and was rationed. Of course, if you wanted more sugar than your ration, you could still go and buy it at a premium in the black market. It was the peak of summer. In the afternoon, a friend of mine from school had dropped in. I was 16 years old. He was about 15. My mother brought chilled lemonade for both of us to drink. My friend said no to the lemonade. And when I asked him, why are you not drinking the lemonade? He said he didn't think that the rationed sugar that we all got was enough for us to be drinking lemonades. I didn't know for a second what to do. I desperately wanted to drink that lemonade. And then I told myself, but Devesh is an idealist. I can't be like him. All of us can't be like him. And I drank that lemonade. Time passed, both of us grew up, and I went on to go to college and joined an NGO, and Devesh went on to become a university professor. And now suddenly, people were calling me an idealist, and the others were just the regular, normal guys. So what had happened? Did I feel a different person suddenly? And how on earth did I end up joining an NGO? So let me step back a little bit again. I am one of 3 siblings, born in a very regular middle-class family, with parents who taught us to stand on our own feet, but more important than that, who taught us to live, who taught us that life could be fulfilling if you lived it simply and honestly. Also, Indian patriarchal society is often considered to not be equal towards women. But it also offers women a lot of opportunities because it places no expectations on women. In our family, it was me, two sisters and 1 brother, and while we were growing up, there was no expectation on either me or my sister that we will end up having a conventional career, that we will have to financially provide for anybody. Whereas for my brother, from the minute he was born, it was a given that he will look after the parents, he will look after the family business, he will look after the social obligations. What this arrangement meant was that we grew up as sisters having the world for us to explore and do what we wanted to. And for my brother, the opportunities were limited from the time that he was born. As it happens, both me and my sister went on to MBA colleges, and both of us, as a coincidence, went on to join NGOs. Why did I join an NGO? I was no revolutionary. I still not am a revolutionary. The only reason that attracted me to an NGO was because I was attracted to villages, and I felt this was the way to go and live in villages. What also, of course, helped me in the decision to go and work in an NGO was the fact that I had no responsibilities. My brother was taking care of them. I also had no monetary obligations. The only money I needed was for myself. And of course, it helped that living simply wasn't a big deal. That's how we had been brought up to live. But if my reasons for joining an NGO were so unconvincing, the reason why I ended up staying there for almost 30 years was because with every day my conviction and belief in the potential of such organizations to reach out and reaffirm the idealism in each one of us grew. This was a place where there were 250 of us, most people like me, different, some different, some like me, some from all kinds of backgrounds people were there. 250 of us who were working together with, like I said, ordinary aspirations, ordinary desires, the desire to have a scooter, to have a refrigerator, to send our children to school, to have proper clothes. We also had ordinary failings, ordinary strengths. And yet, together, this group of very ordinary people ended up doing extraordinary things. This organization, within its boundaries, of course, got globally recognized as having done outstanding work in many of the fields, whether it was education, it was livelihoods, whether it was health, whether it was community empowerment. And when I think back, how did this group of very ordinary people with very ordinary middle-class sensibilities, strengths and failings end up doing such outstanding work? And that was because we recognized and accepted our ordinariness. When one of us weakened and failed, there were others to provide support. And when one of us did well, there were others to applaud us. And that's how we managed to do. And if you look at it, the capacity to live honestly, the capacity to live simply, the capacity to be compassionate, the capacity to do one's duty, to worry about the equality between ends and means, these are not rare qualities at all. These qualities are there between all of us. At different points in our life, all of us have practiced these qualities. And yet, we are the first ones to label some others as idealists and us as normal. And the elevation of principled action onto this pedestal of idealism is a most effective way to silence your voice from within. It then absolves you from the responsibility of having to do what that person who you called an idealist is doing. How many of us have often met people who have said, we can't do what Gandhi did. Gandhi did what he did because he was Gandhi. I am not Gandhi. But what was Gandhi? If the essence of Gandhi was wearing hand-spun clothes, fasting, being a vegetarian, being a teetotaler, then of course we are not Gandhi. Most of us are not Gandhi. But if the essence of Gandhi was truth, it was honesty, it was compassion, it was non-violence, then which amongst us will not say that I don't have the potential to be a Gandhi? And not only do we do a disservice to ourselves by denying that potential for idealism within us, we also deny the manifestations of everyday idealism around us. Let me go back to my brother. My brother lived his life through the same set of values that his sisters did. He's lived as honestly, as simply, with as much worry about ends and means. He's done his duty towards his parents, towards his family, towards the business, made sure that his sisters did not have to worry about any social obligations, and yet nobody calls him an idealist, and he least of all calls himself an idealist. In any family gathering, it is the sisters who are the idealists, not the brother. And I feel in this denying of idealism, both within ourselves by saying I'm not Gandhi, and in others around us by reducing it to a level of everyday dispensation of duty alone and not idealism, I think we are not only shortchanging these people. The people don't want to be called, my brother doesn't mind that he's not called an idealist. In fact, he's very proud that his sisters are idealists and he is not. So you're not shortchanging yourself or those people you're not calling idealists. But what you end up shortchanging is the cause. If we want this world to become a more just place, a more humane place, a more equal place, a more loving place, that's not going to happen by just having some idealists do that and the rest of us reduce ourselves to being normal, regular people. It's not going to happen. And therefore, the only thing that I want to urge all of you is that please do not elevate ideals or idealists to this platform of idols. Do not convert idealism into idolism. Convert them into your everyday companions, reinforce, reaffirm, the idealism within you and in everybody around you. Thank you very much.